Well, take two, because we had our first caller that didn't know that they were calling into a podcast, and then they didn't want to talk to us. So, there's that.
Oh, well.
So, welcome back. Like we were saying before, that it's been a couple weeks. It's been a month. Like, I don't even know how long it's been. But we decided to record just for fun because we were on the road. And believe it or not, this is probably the first other time that we've had to talk again. And guess what? We're on the road again to live stream a football game.
It's kind of what we do. It's kind of the only time we have time that we hang out together for long enough to do something like this.
We're forced to be in a vehicle, so we put our kids in front of screens. Got fried chicken behind us playing something on the Switch.
In all fairness, there was one other time we got together and hung out in the same location, and we did end up playing Warzone, so I guess priorities.
That's true. Which I guess we could have just recorded. We could have hit record and talked, but
I guess we should live stream it or something. I don't know.
I'm totally over that. But so anyway, yeah, we're on our way to set up all of our gear to live stream a high school football game again, and then we'll come right back home because why not? We want to be home and flag football.
Life never stops.
4 hours after we get home. So we're on the road again, but it's a legitimate strategy.
It is.
Being on the road and recording a podcast.
I hear it's the place to do it.
Is a legitimate strategy, yeah. Because you do it in one place and you stay there. So does that mean we have to do every episode in a car? This is like getting coffee with people and whatever that Jerry Seinfeld one is. I don't even know what it is.
Comedians and cars and things.
Yeah, comedians and cars with coffee or something. Yeah. I don't even know. But that's, yeah.
It looks very similar to how this is coming out.
Yeah, so I have no idea. Vloggers talking about video games and vehicles. Is that what we're doing? I don't even know.
Okay, there might be something there.
Yeah, trademark. Yeah. Somebody's already bought the domain, though, even though nobody's watching this at all. So in the last month, we've been waiting for Ready Player 2 to come out. And your wife, of all people, is the one that's been, like, feeding us the information.
I know. I'm so proud of her. I made her read it once. Well, I say read it. We listened to Will Wheaton's awesome audiobook performance.
On Audible, yeah.
On Ready Player One from Audible. We were on a long car trip, and I started it. And when we got home, she insisted on finishing it. And as soon as I told her I pre-ordered Ready Player 2, she has been, like, all over the news and the speculation and everything she can find about it. And so
I have this really bad habit of listening to books that are totally legit and totally on the up and up, and then I go on a road trip with my wife and I'm like, oh, hey, I've been listening to this book, do you want to listen to it? And straight up, like, the worst scene is in the next chapter or something, and so we'll listen to it for like 10 minutes and all of a sudden it's bad. Example would be Girl with Dragon Tattoo. I'd heard it was good, heard it was about a hacker, right? And so I'm like, I'm in. This is going to be great.
They are good, but definitely not one to read around the kiddos.
And it was good. It was absolutely good until whatever chapter it was that I turned it on and we were listening to it on a road trip. And I'm like, well, so much for that. It's like I have this really bad record with 90s movies that I remember watching growing up.
I'm the same way.
And I love these movies, and I think they're great, and I honestly do not remember that there are boobies in every one of these movies until I'm like, hey, let's watch a movie. And I remember this being a really, really good movie, and sure enough.
At least 3 times with me and my wife. I'm like, no, we gotta watch this movie, it's great. And either we watch it, and it really sucks, and it's just, I don't know why I thought it was so cool. Yeah. Or 2, there's, stray boob. What are you going to do?
I have no idea. So there's no words, but
I've had better luck in books. Ready Player One has been a success. The other book series I listen to and absolutely adore and got my wife hooked on is the Monster Hunter series, Larry Correa. Awesome read if you guys are into vampires and werewolves and just all kinds of shenanigans.
And after Stephanie
the combat
Meyer,
accountant, what are you gonna do?
After Stephanie Meyer, what woman is not into vampires? Let's be honest.
Bro, I'm into vampires. What are you talking about?
You watched the Twilight series?
I haven't watched. I actually read the first 2 books. I think I got halfway through the third, and I'm like, this is...
You don't have to lie to the people. You read it all, and then you read the host.
I will honestly tell you, I don't know how it ends because I haven't watched the movies, and I hadn't finished the books. But I did honestly read the first two.
Spoiler alert. Well, actually, I have no idea. There's no spoiler because I have no idea.
You don't know either?
Nope.
Okay.
All I know is that somebody told me about The Host, another book that she wrote after the trilogy, which I understand is like a love triangle between two people and an alien, but an alien takes over a human body because it's the host, and like that ensues of this alien learning about love and what's going on here. And so the premise intrigued me, but I never read it. But I want to say they made it a movie? Question mark? I'm not sure.
Probably.
I don't know.
Should.
Another book to add to the wish list, I guess, that I don't have time to read. And, well, what's weird is this year is, with COVID, my commute is totally changed. And I don't have a ton of time to listen to books, which is the exact opposite of your world, being where there's typically no service and you have all the time in the world to listen to podcasts and books.
Running equipment and wishing I had something to do, so audiobooks, Netflix downloads, whatever you can do to just something to listen to, podcasts, all of it. All consuming so much media all the time, it's kind of ridiculous.
So the PS5 has come out. It seems like a really, I don't know, I'm going to say jaded year for stuff like that, but that's probably just me. Like, when the PS5 came out, so the NVIDIA 3000 series RTX graphics cards came out, and I was going to buy a 3070 for one of our streaming PCs, and within seconds of it being out, Best Buy's website tanked. It was horrible, and if you didn't have a bot purchasing it for you, you weren't going to get one. And I actually got it in the cart, got to check out, got through like what card I was going to use, the whole deal, and when I finally got through to that point, it said they were sold out.
Just out.
Yeah, so I got close. Almost got a PS5. Not that I need one. Not that I have a reason to buy one at this point, but wanted one. Well, that was for the RTX. Sorry, I wanted the graphics card. But then similar things kind of happened with the PlayStation 5.
The pre-order.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting release thing with that. They had them live again yesterday. Walmart said they were going to have them live at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and I was ready. I set a reminder and everything. Again, I don't know why. I think it's more just the hunt. Like, I got one, and then I don't know what to do with it. But
so, were you not ready to pull the trigger, or were they sold out?
No, so I got it. I was on the site. I noticed it started tanking because you could tell the refresh wasn't as good, but they were available for purchase. I added to cart. I went to check out. I had already made sure that my credit card information and everything was right. The only thing that I didn't check was that there was a hoverboard in my shopping cart. And when I went to check out, I didn't know what it was, but I knew that a PlayStation 5 didn't cost that much. And I didn't want to just pull the trigger on it thinking Walmart was like forcing a bundle or something that I didn't catch, you know?
Oh.
And so when I finally got the cart to load and got to see what it was, then it was sold out again. And so, like, honestly, I'm okay with this, because if I buy a PS5, I have to buy a new monitor, because why? Like, I'm not going to get anything better out of the PS5 than I'm not getting out of my PS4 right now, I don't think, if I don't get a monitor that'll do 4K and a higher frame rate than what I'm getting right now. So
the temptation is definitely great. I feel you.
I'm like the dog, you know, chasing cars. I don't know what I'd do if I actually caught it. To quote Heath Ledger, I guess. It comes from a lot of places, but that's what I always think of when I think of that metaphor. But Sony has said that if you want one, you'll get one before Christmas. They're already teasing Black Friday sales, and, you know, there's articles saying if you want one Black Friday, here's where to go, here's what to do. So I may still order one. I honestly, again, I want to order a monitor, and looking at to compare the monitor that I have right now, the monitor will cost as much or more as the PS5. And so I'm like, is that what I want to do?
What monitor are you thinking about? What series of monitors?
Well, so I've looked at a few, and I've looked at the ROG monitor. I've looked at the Acer Predator series.
Yes, those look so nice.
I've looked at Asus has monitors. Dell has some monitors in that space. Samsung has monitors in that space. Samsungs are just coming out. The biggest thing to find is finding a 32-inch monitor. If I'm going to stick to that size, is 30 or 32 inch, what my monitors are, and to get 120 hertz. And that seems to be like a combination that doesn't exist. 4K 120 hertz at that size. I can find 27, and that's where you find like the Acer Predator series, the ROG monitors, things like that are geared towards that. But again, like most of the reason I would be doing it would be for Cold War at this point, because it's shiny and Tainted Love and all that goodness. But from what I've read, Warzone is limited to 60 frames, not 120 frames on the PS5 right now.
Yeah.
And so is it even worth it to go for it
right now?
at this point?
They did say in a future patch they're going to unlock the frame rate. So
well, great.
Just not right now.
That'll only be another 100 gigs to get that much. I had to download it on another PlayStation a while back, and 110 gigs takes some time when the last 10 miles of your internet connection is smoke signal.
Which I will say, I have the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it is optimized for Pro, Cold War is, and I have a 4K TV, and it looks really nice.
And the PS4 Pro is outputting at 4K, or is it output at 2K?
I think it's... I don't know if it's 2K, trying to upscale. I don't know how it works exactly, and I just know it's really pretty.
Because that, I don't know. So I guess if you know, let us know in the comments. I don't have a PS4 Pro. I have the normal PS4 and then a Slim, and Ethan has a Pro, which I know enables HDR and a higher resolution. I can't remember if it's 2K or 4K. It's one of the two. So there's that. So Cold War we have, and that was a 30 gig transfer with the physical media. I bought the disc because, again, I don't have time. Even the week leading up to release, I wouldn't have had it downloaded in time.
I still love having the disc. It's just like the way you bought games for my entire life.
Well,
and I still find myself, even though I get frustrated when I want to play something and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to go to the game closet and get the disc, I still buy the disc though, instead of just going for the download.
My bigger eye twitch, at least before I had kids, was my kids are going to scratch my discs. And so there's like a line that I have there, because okay, with their 3DSs or with their Switches, is the cartridges are so small that they lose them. Like I have a Vita, and they play it more than I do, but they love to lose my games, and it frustrates me because the Vita is a unicorn now. They're gone, and they lose the cartridges, the game's going to be worthless. But a buddy an employee that I work with said that he still buys all the physical media because 20 years from now, when PSN doesn't exist or whatever version exists, he'll be able to pull out his PS3 and be able to play because he'll have the disc and at least LAN. You know, you could at least play a LAN game or play his game or whatever. And so it's been really cool to see. There's a couple games that have gotten resurrected. One on the Dreamcast specifically that was one of the first like MMOs or had multiplayer online aspects, and they go in and you have to customize DNS because you have to be able to repoint from where the game thinks it's going to servers that they've created. But they've been able to reverse engineer online services after the companies get rid of them, and these people are able to go and play these old games through their ability to reverse engineer server architecture.
That's so cool.
And so, I mean, that says how much do you care, right, about a particular game or a particular franchise. But I think that's what makes games, is you find this small group of rabid individuals that just love it and want it, and like they go to the developer, hey, give us the source code for the server, can I stand it up on my own? And but that's cool. And so, you know, doing DNS redirects locally to be able to touch their own server is kind of a neat concept.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. You know, you talk about, you find people that like really dig what you dig, and I think of how many friends I have that I really became close friends with because we played the same games and we talk about them, we hang out all the time. So I'm curious to know, do you think if we didn't start playing zombies really early on when we first met, do you think we would be as tight as we are now?
I have no idea. Like, I've thought about that before. We were talking before we hit record that I was trying to remember when we first started hanging out in like how things lined up for us, because you moved away and went to college, and then you came back, and we had already moved to where we are now, and like had to line that back up. And I was thinking that I'm like, okay, so we met you guys because you were one of the only other young couples that was in the church that we were at, And so we're like, we need to hang out, and it was the most awkward like introduction ever. It was like, hi, you, decade, us, you, stuff. And we went and played volleyball the first time. And then we started playing card games and stuff like that. And I don't even remember when we started playing zombies. I don't even know if I had Black Ops at that point.
We played like board games first, and then the second time we hung out, we were playing card games, and you're like, hey, we should play the Wii. And you brought out some block tower game where we're like throwing balls at a tower to knock them over. I don't remember what it was called.
Is it Boom Blocks? Boom Blocks. Fried Chicken's got it. It's Boom Blocks, which we still have both of them. There's 2 versions of it. Still a fun game. Okay, so we're playing Boom Blocks on the Wii.
So we're playing Boom Blocks, and then next thing I know, I think we started playing Guitar Hero on the Wii.
Okay.
And then we ended up buying a Wii and Guitar Hero, and that's like, to this day, I can only think of one other game I can get my wife to play with me.
So for some perspective, this was right when the Wii had come out. The year that it was released, the Wii was super hot. Motion was super hot because nobody else was really doing it. Like, Xbox had Kinect.
For a time reference, I still did not have a phone I could Google anything on. Okay. That wasn't until like 2 years later when I was in college. So I didn't even have a smartphone yet. You might have. They probably were out.
I had a
but I didn't need it in my life.
I had a Trio. I had a Windows smartphone. Or I had a BlackBerry, one of the two. I was in those 2 veins at that point. This was pre-iPhone, people. And so, so the Wii comes out. This is probably 08. So this would have been 08 when this happened. So the Wii comes out. Mario Kart's the hottest hotness ever. Nobody can find it. And I want to say it was my wife and I's 1-year anniversary. We bought it right around then as like it was on a whim. No, so this goes back to PS5. Like, the Wii is unavailable. You are not going to find this. And my wife and I go to the city, and we're in the city, and we're looking around, and I make some calls, and magically this Wii shows up, and magically I find a copy of Mario Kart. And so we go home with a Wii and a couple controllers, and that kind of went that way. And so, again, my wife, she play the Wii more than I've ever seen her play other video games. She has really interesting like motion sickness, and so has a hard time with video games in general. But lots of Wii golf. I know we got really serious in the Wii Sports golf.
Hey man, Wii Sports Resort with the bocce balls, that's all you need.
So so the Wii. So then after the Wii, like, I remember you had an Xbox, and I don't remember, did I have Call of Duty, and is that why we played zombies, or did you tell me to buy Call of Duty, and so I bought Black Ops?
You had a PlayStation, I had an Xbox, and I was
That's a Dodge Viper.
That was, oh my god.
Because we can't talk about this without talking about cars, and so that's a car that I would be okay with passing me. Last time it was a 350Z that sounded really, but yeah, that was my childhood car. That green Dodge Viper right there. I think I had it because I bought it for the single player. Yep. I didn't buy it for multiplayer. I didn't buy it. I didn't know
this is existed. World at War days. This is Nazi zombies. This is all it was referred to as.
So Black Ops had just come out. Because I never played World at War Zombies before. My first zombie experience was the greatest map ever made, which is Kino der Toten.
Kino.
And people argue it, but it's a great map, and it does lots of things right. I like Giant. I like some other maps, but like, if I turn it on and I just want to play, I'll probably turn on Kino der Toten, especially if it's just me. I don't even know why at this point. I'm done with the guns and stuff.
Well, I definitely started a World at War, so I'm a huge fan of Nacht der Toten. The one in the asylum, I can never remember, it's Verrückt. Which was, I thought they did a good job in the remake, the remaster.
Yeah. Chronicles or remaster?
Chronicles.
So they did it in 1 or 2 and called it remastered or something, and then in Black Ops 3 they called it Chronicles, right?
Yeah.
And you got them all again, and so, I mean, props for Treyarch and Activision for taking their money.
How many times are you going to make me buy the same map?
I don't care, because I'm going to keep doing it, especially in Black Ops 3. Not even because of gobblegums and stuff like that, just because it looked pretty. Like, when we played the last time around, I got out the PS3s, and I got out Black Ops, the original one, and we were going to do it, and Ethan's like, oh, we're going old school, huh? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just want to play Kino. And then I got it on, then we turned it on Black Ops 3, again after gigs and gigs of updates, and it is much prettier. It is way more pretty on Black Ops 3. So we were talking about this before we hit record too, that with Cold War coming out and Zombies getting, not a reboot, because it's in the same because Treyarch says canon is canon,
Yeah.
and so the story exists, but they have ended the story as it was, right? The Primus timeline.
Primus, yep.
And so now this is a different timeline, but they say canon is canon. So I'm excited mostly to see about what comes back and what's consistent. But I didn't play any Black Ops 4 Zombies because, one, I had no desire, and two, I heard it was horrible.
It was pretty rough. I tried playing Black Ops 4 Zombies just because I've always played all of the zombies. I remember being excited to buy Black Ops. I remember being excited to play zombies. And they changed a lot, and I didn't feel like a lot, and most of it just wasn't for the better.
It wasn't value add. I think I was more excited to play Ghost. Like, we bought Ghost and played the Alien version they had there. But like, even that, if it's not Treyarch and it's not zombies, honestly, I haven't been on board before. Like, I even bought Modern Warfare or Infinite Warfare or whatever and played their
attempt at zombies was rough.
Well, even their attempt was it Modern Warfare? I think it was Infinite Warfare that had the Juggernaut version where you had waves and then Juggernauts, and
that was Modern Warfare 2?
I don't remember.
I think it was the second one, yep.
So there's that too, and honestly, so to get way back where we were, to come way back around, is we ended up playing Zombies one night, and it was kind of all downhill from there. And it didn't start super quick because Ethan had an Xbox. It was a 360, right? That was on.
Big old 360.
So we couldn't even play together at that point. And then I remember buying another PS3 from somebody in town, and then it kind of was all downhill from there.
And then we started LAN partying. We get 4 people and just run through games and try to high round. And then we got your brother involved at some point. And man, a lot of good memories. Not only hanging out with you, but just everybody.
Yeah, 4 players, 2 projectors, a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
I remember that going on. So, and now here we are. Now it's deciding whether or not to buy a PS5. Now you have to pay for pay to get on, because Sony avoided it until the PS4, and now you have to pay for PSN.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, it's the exact same subscription on PS5. If I have PSN for my PS4, does it work on my PS5?
I believe so.
I don't have to buy another subscription? No. I don't think so.
I feel like I would have read about
an uproar.
It going up in price or something.
People would have lost their minds.
Yes.
So the Wii, Nintendo avoided it for a long time, but yet the Switch has an online subscription, albeit theirs I think is only like $25 a year. I forget what it is for Switch Family Online or whatever it is. I don't know. They've got it. Fried Chicken's got it. I have no idea. But.
And I'm very grateful that when PlayStation finally said, hey, we really need to start charging so we can, maintain these servers, whatever.
Yeah, Fried Chicken, I got you. I need you to look out the window and breathe. This is why we're doing this. This is dadding right here. We're gonna
car sickness on the fly. Oh, the rim. What are you gonna do?
No, and I wasn't ready because we were chatting it up. So we're gonna get a lot of shaky cam goodness right here. All right, here, Fried Chicken. This half's a little bit bigger. So wow. So that, please look at the road. It's a chewable. It's a chewable. You got. So roll your window down. Roll your window down. Breathe. And I'm gonna roll mine down too, so we don't get the helicopter noise.
The helicopter of death.
Go ahead and roll all the way down, Will, and breathe. Well, here. So let me do this then. Boom. Skadoosh. Air. Up. Open the vent.
So
you feel that? Okay, so we'll roll windows up. All right. I actually am kind of feeling it too, and I think it's because I'm staring at a monitor trying to
keep it level,
make sure what we're doing. But anyway, so
well, luckily I'm watching the road. I feel fine. A-O fine.
I hope somebody's watching the road, because I think me on the laptop trying to run a podcast and drive would probably not be ideal. So somebody's got to pay attention.
I'm just really glad that when PlayStation finally did go to the paid subscription model, they're like, hey, we need to do something because we fought it for so many years, and that's when it was, hey, we're going to give you a free game every month.
Oh, that's right. But it's remembering to get it, and honestly, I've fallen off the bandwagon. I can't tell you what the last couple have been, to be honest.
I am so grateful that they came out with a phone app that I can get on PS Store and because all I have to do is add them to my library straight from there.
You can do that from the phone?
You can do it from the phone.
I have no idea.
So yeah,
So
been
during
a lifesaver because there's a couple I missed out on. I was super bummed about, and then I'm like, I gotta at least get on once a month because there's been a lot of times where I go through a dearth of not spending any time on my PlayStation.
Well, and with COVID, there's been a lot of really good releases. You've seen Sony like bring some back or do some games that I don't think they would have done. Because sometimes it's throwaway stuff. Not necessarily throwaway, but just not like AAA titles, not things that you would think of. There's some gems in there. Like they gave Fall Guys a couple months ago. And that's why Fall Guys exploded the way that it did, is it was the free game for the month, I think. And it's kind of already crashed and burned, or I don't hear about it near as much. I think people still play it, but I have never got him to play it. I played it, and I think it's fun. Playing it with my kiddos. But fried chicken, you feeling a little better? Okay, good.
That's
Make
what
sure
we like
to breathe.
to hear.
If you need some water, I'll toss some water your way. Do you need some water? No? Okay. You guys might get to see him vomit between the seats right here. It'd be fantastic.
That would be an awesome way for technically the second episode of this podcast to just kick it off. Is just we make people vomit with our words.
Yeah. So, or we're just vomiting at the mouth ourselves right now with what words that we're saying.
More or less. I feel like this is the stuff we talk about anyways.
So since this entire conversation has been about Black Ops and PlayStation, like I don't know, I guess we're kind of rounding it out, but it's mostly Activision, Treyarch, and Shaky Cam is crossplay. Like you talk about having to pay to get online, and yet these companies, while they say it's always the other guy, nobody really wants to play along. But now you see games like Fortnite that has crossplay. Activision has crossplay through Activision accounts, and so that's the way that you're seeing it happen. Is Sony's not hosting the servers, Microsoft isn't hosting the servers, is Activision hosts the infrastructure, and then it allows crossplay from different so I want to say Fortnite, PUBG I would imagine is cross-compatible or crossplay. I don't know if it is or not, but Warzone is. And so that's where I was kind of bringing it back to, is that most of the stuff that I've been playing when I play lately has been Warzone, which has a very steep learning curve. So playing it when it first came out, I stopped playing it pretty quick because it was just hard. And also in the first 2 seasons, rampant hacking, rampant cheating. And
I didn't think it was fun.
I think it still exists, right? I mean, yes, people are just better than me. I will say that, and that's part of it.
Now that you can turn crossplay off, you don't have to play with PC players, which is like the big deal.
You can avoid some of that.
Yeah, you avoid a lot of it, which it was cool before, because maybe there's some friends that didn't have a PlayStation, but for the most part, all my friends have PlayStations, so we would play anyways. But
at the same time, you're gonna have PlayStation with keyboards, so not that that's directly cheating or that changes anything, but it does not quite level the playing field, because then you have people playing on console with keyboard, which I mean is an advantage, because that's how you want to play an FPS, even though I'm more comfortable playing it with a keyboard now, or with a controller now, than I was. So we haven't played Zombies yet. We've been trying to hold off so we could play it together and get a lot of first impression stuff. It's really hard. Like, I feel like this is Avengers Endgame, where all the spoilers and all of the things and all of the stuff, and
they just happen so fast. It's like
honestly, I know nothing. I know next to nothing about Call of Duty Zombies, the new one, except that zombies have health bars and you can drop guns on the ground. Right? I booted it up to make sure I didn't need to patch it anymore, and pew-pewed for a few minutes with like 2. I swear they were like 12 years old, hearing them talk and stuff. It was just really funny. But and then I jumped out of the game and am waiting. So we'll play. They'll probably patch it 3 times before we'll get to play it.
I'm hoping with the holiday break coming up, we can carve out some time, because I'm pretty much waiting.
Carving game time, carving turkey time. Was that intentional?
It was a pun. All right, it was just punny. I've been waiting because I don't really want to play Zombies unless I'm playing it with my bros, and so we need to talk your brother into getting it. I need to figure out if my brother-in-law we play with a lot, if he's gonna get it.
We're gonna
just try and put the squad back together.
We're gonna see one at lunch, so we'll have to see if he's bought it yet.
Yes, we will shame him into buying it if he hasn't, or at least try.
He's pretty hardcore into Warzone though, and so it'll be hard to pull him away.
He's definitely the one that got us back into it, I feel like, because like we were saying, I was totally checked out of Warzone until you were like, "Hey, I've been playing with Clancy. It's been really fun." And
It's been good.
And yeah, and so I got back into it, and I don't know, I've really been enjoying it. Now that I finally have a couple, I feel like, decent guns, life's better. I'm learning a lot.
And that is most of it, is picking a loadout that works and finding what works. And the heart, is getting your loadout is honestly the first thing, and it's a world of difference. I miss zombies, so they did an event that was zombies, and I actually found I played that mode way, way, way better. And I don't know if it was the absence of the gulag or that I actually fared pretty well as a zombie and getting myself back into the game. But I found that I was way deeper into the game, even playing with randos. I won trios with random people, but granted, we were all talking, and that's 90% of the problem, is when 3 people can talk and actually work together instead of, I'm going to go where I want and you're an idiot kind of thing.
Yeah. Finding 3 randos that work together it's a tall ask.
Well, and the thing was, I was the rando. It was 2 friends playing together, and I got thrown in as the third. And so the fact that I turned my mic on and said hi, like, I think that made all the difference, because then we actually picked a place. We went to the dam. There was coordinated efforts, and then we helped each other. And so my best game with randos ever was with those people. And then I actually won 1 game solo with zombies. That was crazy. That was the one weird thing with zombies, is you could be solo, there could be trios, and so it scaled weird in that mode. But it was still fun. So yeah, season 6, still playing. That's actually what's taking up most of my time when I have time to play, I think, is playing Warzone at this point. So
that's pretty much all I'm playing right now. I've been playing a little bit of No Man's Sky, which is, I don't know, I enjoy it. It's like, if the kids want to hang out with me, I can play that. Nothing crazy is going to happen. So it's fun. Not too violent. Unless you go looking for violence, there's plenty of it to be found.
it's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all I was thinking about. I had one other book that I was thinking about when we were trying to talk about. We talked about Ready Player 2. And so what are you reading right now? Do you have anything in your queue right now on the Audible?
Oh, what did I just finish? Actually, I've kind of been on a weird binge with all the weird political stuff going on. I went through a lot of Orwell stuff. So Animal Farm, 1984. So that's what I've been doing lately. Before that, I've been on a deep dive into fantasy novels lately, which I bounce back between sci-fi and fantasy novels, I feel like, a lot. So some good ones. Maybe I'll look at my library, refresh on a few, and we can talk about them more. But
I'm doing a second round with a book called Infinite by Jeremy Robinson. It's about end of the world, this spaceship crew of people that were going to reboot humanity on another planet somewhere, and they're headed that way, and something goes terribly wrong, and virtual reality takes its place, and AI takes its place, and it's like a little bit of Passengers, because it's, how do you cope being alone and having AI, and what happens, and then things go wrong, and don't want to spoil it too much, and I probably didn't give it a good recommend at all, but it's a pretty good book. It's engaging. I enjoyed it. It's a one-off. I see how they could totally do a sequel to it, and I would be totally open to it, because I kind of had some buy-in with the characters, and I enjoy that when I find a book, one that I didn't know was a trilogy. There's a series of books called 14 is one of the books. There's 3 books, and I can't remember. I want to say Ernest Clines is the author. Man, I'm going to have to look at those. But anyway, I didn't know it was a series, and I actually read the second book first, and it was fun to kind of juggle into. We Are Legion, We Are Bob was another book that I read, and I was like, please make another book. Please make another book. And there were 3 of them.
I think there's another one coming out. I think
there's a 4th one?
Fourth one's on the way.
See, and I had no idea, and I would read that all day long. Just such a silly book about AI.
Yeah, and fun.
And again,
the von Neumann probe.
Yep. And so that's a good book. We Are Legion, We Are Bob is about a guy named Bob that saves, he's a von Neumann probe. So if you want to know more, it's really fun. It's sci-fi. It's humorous.
It is very humorous.
And that's actually a lot of the reason that I like the Mavericks series or the Columbus Day books.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the beer can, because of the AI and the humor that ensues between humanity and an artificial intelligence.
Man, Skippy, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's like 10 books to that, and I actually think I'm one behind now because they've released one since. But again, my lack of commute has totally destroyed my time to read. You doing all right, fried chicken? Okay, good. And I'm getting a phone call. Caller.
That was from earlier.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to let Dropkick Murphys play us out, and hopefully we don't get copyrighted. So for the episode 1, technically second episode of ZeroLuck Live, this is Zero Gnome.
I'm Luck Unchanged.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.